What is up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat, and we're here at the Nerd Castle today playing the next episode in Battleworlds Kronos. In the previous episode, we had fought for Wigglechiggy. This is Diggles, this is Wigglechiggy, and this is Xugak, our home country. Well, we are fighting for Xugak at this point. For Xugak or death is our battle cry, and we've managed to make a pretty good beachhead over here on the front side of Wigglechiggy. Now, we do have some destroyers and things that do want to take shots at the enemy if they can pull it off. However, I think I'm going to bypass the turn and we'll see what happens here because they don't have any fire left in them. Which seems like kind of a mean thing to say. It makes them seem like, makes my destroyers sound as though they're pretty much disenfranchised with life. There's no fire left in them. They've given up. But anyways, let's get them down here into firing positions and we'll figure out what we can and can't do given our current force. And yeah, he just can't make it quite down there. These guys, however, can take shots. And I think what I would like, oh, they've got artillery right there. Well then, can I hit the artillery twice? Okay, let's hit the artillery. Artillery becomes job one in this case. We really have to put some concurrent fire on that thing. Because it could fire back, I think. Ooh, we stopped. I didn't check that at all, but it fires right outside of our range. We'll end the turn one more time. This Hydra right here is watching this whole thing with sort of a buck-toothed grin. He's not really trying to participate at all. Oh, they're gonna run away. Okay, so now they're gonna force us to advance, which is disappointing, but it was expected. We may still be able to sow chaos down here. Yeah, let's continue to hector these guys. I don't want any of these guys to be healthy when I get back at them. I want them to be hurting all around. See if we can completely and totally wound that bandit so that he's pretty much ineffective in battle. Although this one right here, one of these guys used his level up in order to negate the damage we had done, which was kind of a jerk move. Like, you have to accept the beating that we give you. If we're here at the Nerd Castle and we're trying to beat you up, just accept it. Don't fight back. It's gonna happen either way. There's like 13,000 of us at this point. There are a lot of Nerd Castle elites at this point. The NCE. I like that better, although it sounds sort of like a soccer firm or a football firm for my friends overseas. I know. Let the battle rage hot. Now then, what do we have? Oh, nothing in that depot. Weak. Weak and whack. We put it under attack, and it won't cut us any slack. Oh, there we go. I made that one rhyme all over the place. Oh, I really, really don't want to walk into that. That just seems impenetrable. Like, that's really, really nasty right there. And they've got us outranged just perfectly. Just perfectly. Let's continue to wait and see what they do. Essentially, I'd prefer to wait for them to slip up versus me potentially. There it is right there. That's what I had expected. Okay, and so now they've slipped. While it may look as though we've lost infantry, what we have actually done is pulled a pretty good bait and switch right there. How far is his range? Oh, you can get him from there? Good, fantastic. Get him from there then. You won't hear me complain. This guy, on the other hand, I need him to fire at somebody, so we'll fire over here. Ah, and sir, we also have you. Okay. Well, then I don't think this bandit actually poses any real threat to us. I think we should be able to mill this one about without too many casualties. Yeah, there it is. Truck down. Now over here we are going to face some pretty stiff infantry fighting. And I can't see what his movement range is, but I would prefer... I wish we could send him back to the harbor, although what I could technically do is this. I don't know if that's going to boot him out when this happens. That's going to be an interesting little test. We'll find out what happens when this occurs. Because honestly, I'm not really sure. Just about anything could happen right there. Sweep them in here to assist their wounded comrades. Comrades one and all. We could still continue to... Let's do it. Keep harassing. Harassment is the name of the game here. Well, the name of the game is Battleworlds Kronos, but it's a saying. You guys get what I mean. Semantics. Semantics! I mean, potentially every unit we kill like this is something we don't have to fight later, so why would I fight a fair battle if I can just sort of guerrilla tactic and chase them around? It's not even guerrilla. I don't even know what to call this. It's sort of skirmishing almost. It's just kind of running around all over the map, inflicting tiny losses wherever we can. Who's remaining over here? Who is still ready for duty? Which sounds a lot funnier than it actually is. That's only if you, like, laugh when people say duty, though. I still do. I'm 26 and I still laugh when people say duty. I don't know if that's ever going to go away. It's one of those personal flaws. We'll end the turn. You notice that I haven't been scouting. That's because I want to give my full attention to all this down here. What happens? Let's find out. Does that infantry become their infantry? Or does it become, like, captured and held in escrow? I'm not really sure how this works. Ooh, they've got a Hydra over there. I want to shoot you, Hydra. I really want to shoot you. Oh, and he's so close. I can almost get at him. I think I can if I go... Yeah, there it is. Although he might be able to get at me now. Which is a little... That makes me worry slightly. No, I like this boat. Please don't shoot this boat. Although in so doing, he will be committing suicide. So... It could go either direction. Now over here, let's have a look at this little skirmish. Once again, still mostly just going to use boats to cause trouble. I'm not going to risk retaliatory fire if I don't really have to. Especially since they have that long-ranged unit right there that could bait in at like any moment, so whatever. Ah, the unit is held in escrow. Okay. So whoever controls this essentially gets whatever units are inside of it. Over here, it would be a Death Wish. They've got a nice little column in here that is just perfectly towing my line. And unfortunately, well, what I think we could do actually is let's shift this entire group over to here and we'll try and force them to fight along this side. That way I can make full use of my long-ranged units while we're sitting here. I think our chances of baiting them back to this shore are pretty much nil. I don't think the AI is going to go for it. They might, but the AI seems to be pretty smart in this game, so I wouldn't put it past them too many times. We've got a lot of wounded units. I'm going to send him down this way just to figure out what they have. Ah, there's a cannon at the center. That is a lot of units, God. I feel like we've done so much damage, and yet we have so far left to go. Like, I really am feeling quite ineffectual right now. I'm not feeling like we're really getting anything actually done. We're just sort of stalling, I guess. Alright, let's end the turn. We will see what they do. I was concerned about that particular action, but he only did 16 damage. What they don't tell you is that land units are severely nerfed versus naval units. Now, I'll get a counterattack if I do that, so what I want to do is back up by one. We'll also pull him in. Oh, never mind, he can fire from where he's at, and so can he. Well, let's injure him then. He gave us a black eye, so let's fatten his lip a tiny bit. Oh, I didn't move far enough. Well, aren't I the village idiot right now? They do have some pretty serious ordnance. They got a Praetorian. God. That Hydra can only deal like 2 damage now, so I'm not really concerned about him anymore. Over on this side. Just gonna double fire at him. Recapture that. Kind of doing like a little, but you go first. No, you go first type thing over here with this infantry unit. But I have nobody I want to sacrifice to get inside the range of that fully healthed Hydra. That's my big problem, is there's nobody that I really want to sacrifice to the wolves with regards to that strategy. Let's start getting some units rotated over to this other front that I'm excited about. Because I think this is the front to be at. I think this is like the cool kids club. Please don't go inside the harbor. Okay, good. I don't think my 2 guys could kill that infantry. I think I'm going to let them just keep chain capping that thing down there. I don't really think it's going to hurt us at all. I'll unload though, just in case, because I don't want to lose my infantry unit. Put down like a landmine. Oh, he already used his... Did he already use his landmine? What? I don't remember using a landmine. Well, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. You can't prove anything. I think he can shoot at us if he gets over there. So let's move a little bit further up the shore. Alright, good. I think that's the position I'd like to occupy. It's disappointing because I expect losses on a fight like this, but I really just... I don't want to lose units. I would really prefer, yeah, like losing too many units right here is going to render this whole thing sort of pointless. And that is the sad truth of the whole thing. I think I want that tank out of the fight more than I want the bandit out of the fight. And while we don't really seem capable of injuring it too much, we'll put a double bandit on that tank, which should get him down to reasonable levels of health. We'll put bombardment on that bandit so they don't have any more range left. Oh, really? They're not going to allow me that luxury, unfortunately. I was hoping that bandit would be out of the fight. Was sincerely hoping. Oh, he already used his attack action. Damn. I'm just losing the plot here. All 3 of them have fired. We've softened them a tad, but what we really, really need is pretty much supremacy. Like, we need somebody to get knocked off here. So I'm going to put him in the harbor right there. Take another shot at that tank. He unfortunately can't get into a position until next turn. I think I'm going to get a little evasive. We may take a rocket, but I really want to get rid of one of these sideline units. Which then creates a barrier. So you see this tank is sort of trapped now. You might be saying, well, so are your troops. And exactly, that is my point. Now what I'd like to do now is maybe 86 one of these guys. There we go. So while it wasn't a perfect fight and we did lose somebody, I do think we did the best we could with what we had right there. And supposing that we have about 500 resources left to play with, we can more than replenish a large proportion of these units that we're messing around with. There's 2 negligible damage right there. The mule's gonna get... Oh, the tank is gonna move that way. Oh my. I really do feel like I've fallen into some sort of elaborate ruse here. Like the AI was waiting for that. Put a double shot on that Praetorian. Oh, I should probably level up first. Let's go with the... Let's heal him. And then with the second level up, we'll go with improved armor. Probably should have leveled him before I took my 2 shots, but whatever. The insane amount of HP on these Praetorians is just like, wow. I do need to get some armor in here to take shots at him. Okay, so the Praetorian's done. We need to play range denial now. And once again, pull all these guys back towards here. I mean, we've almost lost our entire invasion force think about that for a second. That's really, really, really bad. Like, insanely bad. And we've pretty much played the best game we possibly could with this, but the enemy just has such overwhelming force that I'm beginning to doubt the strategy, to be honest. I don't even know if we're supposed to hit all of these bases, or if we're just supposed to go straight for the enemy's headquarters and really just try and end the game quickly. No idea. No idea. And it seems like every island is just sort of like that. Part of me wonders if you're supposed to, as part of how the level is designed, if you're supposed to pick an island and it's just sort of a guessing game, and if you guess wrong too many times, sucks to be you, you lose. I wouldn't support a game that was designed like that, because that sucks. That's not fun. That's not strategy. That's not strategy at all. And they're staying perfectly out of range every single time for all of my boats. It's just killing me. Killing me. These damned hydras. Oh, that's gonna get a counter blow. Damn it. Didn't even think about that one. It netted us a level up, but God. That was pretty much, I think invading this island was completely pointless. We lost more units than we gained. If you look at just, we've only got 50, 70, 130. That means we can replace 3 loot units, and we've lost, well, there's another 100 right there. We may get away with this. We may. But it still remains to be seen, unfortunately. Alright, so there we go. Busting through a little bit further, I think the strategy was ultimately not the best I could have done, and I think that's why I'm a little bit down about our losses. I don't think I did as well as I would have liked to, unfortunately. Instead, I think I'm going to mess with this infantry right here. It's one of those times where I do think the strategy was a little suspect. We'll try and get him to there, and he'll kill off that cycle. And I tell you what, to quote Hank Hill, upgrading these ships for range seems to be the way to go, because then you can use them as mobile artillery, which really leaves the enemy in a god-awful kind of rat hole of a situation. Who do I have left over here to mess with this infantry? Well, I've got you two gents. Let's go ahead and flank. And we'll see if we can win it. Alright. So what I'd like to do, after we clear the rubble out of this place, I'd like to get everybody into the depot, use as many resources on repairs as I can first. And once we've got everybody sort of bottled up, we've gotten them all taken care of, we've got all of the leaks patched, we've got all of the duct tape dispensed, I'll start spending on more units. I would like to do further cumulative scouting down here in the bottom to figure out really what we're up against, because I have no clue. We could be walking into, and what it looks like, we are walking into a slaughter down here, and everything they have, if it's to follow the trend of this air defense turret, everything is going to be inland, which means an assault on this base is going to be very, very pointless. Let's get back to scouting a bit more. Ah, they do have another naval force down here. Alright, well, we'll take note of it. We will absolutely take note, and that does save us from losing this little scouty guy over here. So run away. He's like, okay. Away from the battle. Just running away. That's how I imagine my piranha sounds if he had to vocalize. If he had the ability, like if he could just be like, I can't do that. You know, that's what I would expect him to do. But it would be, I can't do that. That would be his voice. Now then. It looks like we're about squared away here. I'm happy. For once, I'm happy. We are going to have to deal with this turret. And we have no artillery with which to joust with it. We do have ammunition, though, so I can refill him, but I think the turret has the same range that he does, namely 3. So we're probably going to have to sacrifice even more people. I mean, oof. This is quite the island. This is quite the island. He's firing right out to our edges there, so let's put a little bit of damage on that mule. Why they have a mule running around? The mule might have some... Oh, he does. He has 20 supply. Well, I suppose then the mule has become our next target. Let's blow him the hell up. I don't know if he drops his crates on the ground or not. Doesn't look like he does. We also have a level up on this little guy. Let's give him improved armor. Where is his range going to? Hey, give me your range. There it is. So I can't get at that artillery. God, they are turtled up right there. And that's going to be one of those turd sandwiches we're going to have to bite down on, regardless of how this goes. Let's go ahead and bring our naval force over this way, since it appears as though we're going to be forced to deal with nasty forces over there. And the big decision we're going to have to make in this episode is, after we knock over this base, do we bother to hit this one in the south? Or do we ignore it and we just head over here and knock over a couple bases here just to see what we can raid and pillage? Kind of a difficult decision. I also realized that I've forgotten to unload my supplies on this side, which is what I'm going to do. You're looking incredibly just out of luck with regards to a lot of the units we have. I'm not happy. That making me wonder if this is even a sustainable fight, to be honest. We may be forced to make a really hard push on this northern base and just kind of pull an Ender's game and really just focus on the end goal and just ignore our losses, if you know what I mean. Just go straight for it and see if we can't light off that doctor device. But still, we're not out of the game yet. We're just hurting. The plus side is that the enemy is hurting too. What is their cumulative might looking like? So we lost 500 might in that battle and they lost 1,300. But the ratios remain the same, as you can see. We lost 4 units to, I believe, 17 of theirs. Little bit terrifying. All things to really sort of give some contemplation to. Some definite commiseration needs to go into our next couple turns, because we can't afford any more losses for sure. If this is what we have remaining, we really can't risk anything else. Okay, so they're turtled up. They're not going to move at all. Well, in that case, we could... What is that artillery covering? That artillery's pretty much covering everything, from what I can tell. And with no way to counter it... That's one of our short-range guys. Let me see what I can do with maybe some long-range help. If we can get in right there, he might be able to take a shot at it. Nope, I don't think... I think they're one outside the range. God. This is bad. This is really bad. I don't want to attack this node. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I don't see any point. What we may think about doing is capturing this and getting a boat into each of these buildings just post-haste and seeing if there's the possibility of just ninjaing everything they have out of these buildings without triggering these little guys up here. And then we take the supply back to here where we're safe, because we already have a light factory captured, so why die trying to defend one, you know what I mean? Is that inside the range right there? That is not. Okay, so we can capture from right there. There's only 20 in there, which is weak. That's a really bad supply depot. Not even worth the effort if we're trying to quantify... Oh, a scout bike. Where in the hell did he come from? Hell no. Oh my god. Opportunist, just absolute opportunist bullshit right there. Okay, well, it's my fault for considering the battle over when it isn't over. I'll take a free kill, but that's just more damage that we have to repair. Disappointingly enough. Nothing in there, as expected. We took a lot of losses for not a lot of gain. Not a lot of gain. Let's go ahead and take a look at this harbor, and let's get focused on maybe dragging back some of the supply. 100 supply isn't terrible. We'll unload him now. Put him out to sea. Which sounds like a really friendly way of saying, like, you know how they say when you go to, like, execute, like, to kill an animal, you take them out to, or, I guess it's not set them out to pasture. I guess setting them out to pasture is saying you're just going to ignore them until they die. Their working days are over. So never mind. The entire diatribe that I was about to go on, rendered inefficient. Rendered completely pointless. Let's get in there. Oh, we already have a guy in there. Damn. Alright, well... One of them will take this supply then. And we shall unload him back out, and in the next turn, go ahead and unload him. And that one on the right will come over here and grab the 20 supply from here. I do want the 60 out of this building, so we are going to go for that. Is he full up? What does he have right now? 50? So he can take the 20 from over here, and he can grab the 60. At which point, we will be pretty much maxed out on all the supply we can carry from this base. The raiding party, I don't think it was that efficient, so we may in the next episode try and make a hard push for their headquarters, or just ignore the secondary objective, just pretend like it doesn't exist. The secondary objective is looking like one of those things that's meant to sink your campaign. You'll note that the secondary objective is not that we take any of these bases down here, it's that we wipe out their fleets. Haven't seen any fleets around except for this guy down here, and I really don't want to kick off any major high-scale military battles. I mean, I don't really want this to turn into like a Pacific type deal where we just end up with raging battles left and right. I may just leave it as is and just kind of get out of dodge. Over here they have a lot of supply, but I don't really know what they're fielding. Let's pull up against this. They have a heavy factory. Well, let's go out to sea, and on the next turn, it looks defended. It looks really defended. We'll put him in right there and see if he can't clear out some more of that shroud, and we'll do sort of a quantitative analysis of whether this is going to be worth the effort or not. I really want him to undeploy that. I would love for him to undeploy that artillery, but I think he's too smart to do it. Mine side firing range right there? Okay, good. Take this 50. We'll get him loaded up in the depot. We'll take this empty boat right here, and we'll get him inside the factory. And now that he's in, we'll take that 60 and all the ammunition and all the mines. I mean, I don't use the mines that much, but the game seems to give you a lot of them. I'm not going to unload. Well, I think that's outside his range. That seems like a really long shot. And then over here, the last thing we'll do is we'll totally load the remainder of all that on there. And we've got bullets and mines and all kinds of goodies, so I think we're pretty happy with this whole thing. Let me do one last check to see where I can deploy to. Right there is where I want to deploy. And there it is. That's where we shall deploy. Now then, we've looted the hell out of this place. I'm going to break the episode off right here. And minus the minor frustration of really trying to just fight sort of a Normandy-esque or Omaha battle where everything is stacked in the defense's favor right now, I think instead what I'd like to do, I think we're going to make a push on that final base in the next episode. I think we're just going to say damn the torpedoes, ignore everything they have in here, and I'm thinking the proper discretion right now is a lack of discretion. Let's get all of our, yeah, I'm going to put him back in the harbor too so that I can load up units before we get the hell on out of here. I do have a lot of heavy guys deployed. And I think, yeah, my name is Splattercat. I hope you're still enjoying the series. I'm having fun with Battleworlds Kronos, aside from the fact that it is a very challenging game, which lends me to get, I wouldn't say frustrated. I don't think it's frustrated. I think it's just every now and again I really just feel like I'm hosed. Like I absolutely feel like the overwhelming majority of everything on the map is the enemies, to the point where you're like, how do I even circumnavigate this situation? Like there's no way I'm not going to take losses, which makes me think that the game is functioning on a deeper strategic level where it really wants you to distinguish what's worth it and what's not. Like it may not be conceivably possible to take both of these islands. That may be how the level's designed, interestingly enough. I've already expressed my opinions on levels being designed in that fashion, but I do still like the game, so I'm going to load up in between episodes. We'll get everybody off this island. They can have it back for all I care. We've taken everything that it's worth anyways. In the next episode, what we'll do is we'll load everything into a factory here. So this is going to have like 600 resources in it. We're going to repair here, as many units as we can repair, and we're just going to push this way, just hard, fast, just nasty, rotten style. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle. I will see you in the next episode. Take care out there, everybody.